Do you want to have a conversation, or you just want
No, I really just would like you to just apologize and turn around and see that what you're doing is harmful. I'll just say my name is Mav.
Say what?
Mav.
M-A-V.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my question for you is, if God said that there is going to be male and female, and then there's some variety within that called intersex people, why do you guys insist on this binary definition of sex when clearly biology is not so binary? There are intersex people, and you'll say, oh, it's just 1% of people, et cetera, et cetera. And then also, let's extend that to same-sex relationships. So you have someone who's born heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual. So why is there this thing where God would say, that's fine, but that's not fine? And he creates them knowingly like that. And then in the past, the church has said these people are mentally ill, they deserve to be, put in institutions, penalized, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I could go on and on about that. But my question is, why do you say that if I'm going to be a Christian again, then I need to repent from being LGBTQI+, and then accept this narrow version of the gospel? That to me is like conversion therapy, and the UN and all these other major medical organizations in the US and around the world have called that torture. So for you to stand here and to defend that, that's pretty messed up. What is your response to that?
Well, Mav, let me ask you a question. What is your standard of morality?
This is a teachable moment for all inspiring apologists out there. Notice Frank didn't take the bait and get lured into a highly combative conversation. What Frank is doing is the don't answer strategy. Proverbs 26:4 says, answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself. Frank didn't answer all of his questions right away because this kid wasn't looking for an honest discussion. So to answer a question in that scenario would be to give in to a dishonest conversation. He was looking for a fight. He was looking to make the Christian look bad. He was angry. But to be angry is a moral position, a position he must justify if there is no God.
Question: what is your standard of morality?
I'm a secular humanist. I think that everybody is innately good.
What do you mean by good?
Well, obviously murder is wrong.
Why?
Because if I went and murdered someone's kid, then that mother or father would not have a child, and they would be in mourning, and that caused them some great psychological turmoil for the rest of their lives and trauma they're going to have to work through in therapy. So objectively, we can see psychologically they're not going to be doing too hot. So of course, but that's objectively wrong.
Why is it objectively wrong to harm people?
Because if we are going to come together as a society and cooperate as a human race, we need to have some sort of moral standard to bind us together, regardless if there's a God or not.
But whose moral standard? I mean, Hitler had a pretty tight moral standard within Germany. Why was he wrong?
Well, obviously he was wrong on many levels. I mean, the fact that he murdered millions of people.
But by what standard? Why is it wrong to murder people?
Well, I'm just going to say, within my own experience, if I witness the murder of someone, which I gratefully have not, I would be, obviously, there would be a sinking feeling inside of me, wow, I just witnessed the loss of someone's life. That's a terrible thing to see. If someone got ran over by a car and it was so quick and you just didn't see it coming, of course that would screw someone up for life. So to me, it's you don't have to attribute it to whether there's a God or not. Psychologically, the way that my brain is going to see that is wow, I just saw harm inflicted onto another human.
Yes, you're describing how you know something's wrong. The question
it's
is
a psychological feeling and a physiological reaction.
The question is, why is it wrong if there's no God?
So wait, can you repeat that last thing?
Yeah, you're explaining one of the ways you might know that something's wrong. The question is, why is it wrong if there's no God?
Well, I just think that as a society, we wouldn't be able to just say oh, we should allow murder. We should allow this and stuff to happen because obviously slavery was wrong. We abolished that, obviously.
Okay. You're bringing up all sorts of moral wrongs. But
what I'm saying is that was what we need to cooperate as a human race, regardless of whether there's a God or not, because evolution has, incentivize cooperation. If I share my fruit with my person, they're going to survive. If I take care of the elderly person in my clan, they're going to survive.
No.
If I take care of the children in my village, they're going to survive.
Evolution.
The human race will survive and reproduce, and therefore everyone else is benefited from it.
Evolution is survival of the fittest.
That's not true. There's a lot more to it than you're strawmanning evolution. You're just so wrong about this stuff. I'm sorry.
Where am I wrong about evolution being the survival of the fittest?
You probably read that guy who
Darwin
funded the Ark Encounter. Maybe you or whatever in Kentucky. You probably read his straw man version of evolution. And I really don't think that you really talk to biologists and you really know what's going on. Okay. Because there's a whole lot of stuff that a lot of you guys will just straw man and not even take as like what it actually says.
Hold on. Okay. Got a lot of people behind here. I'm asking you simple questions. You come up asking a moral question. I'm asking for a moral standard. You haven't given me a moral standard.
I've said objective morality. That is a moral standard.
Where does the objective morality come if there is no God? I'm not the source of objective.
From within our wiring.
He doesn't understand the phrase objective morality. Without God, there is no objective morality. Why? Without a singular source by which morality can be grounded, that is God's nature, morality as we know it would not exist. It would be individual based, a glorified opinion. He said morality comes from within us. That would make it subjective, not objective.
You're importing a moral standard into your atheistic system, and you're stealing it from a theistic worldview.
That's not true.
Well, I'm sorry. You don't get morality.
There are so many moral standards besides Christianity. There's Buddhism. There's Shintoism. There's all these different moral codes from all over the world that I've read about, that I've imported. So that's not true.
Mav, I'm going to have to ask you to move away from the microphone unless you give me a chance to respond. Okay?
Fair enough.
Okay. So there is no objective moral standard unless some kind of God exists. Everything is just a matter of human opinion. And so when you hold up a sign that says that certain people have treated LGBTQ people wrongly,
and there's so much evidence for it.
Mav, you might be exactly right about that. But
I am. I have experiences and data to back it up.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that people have treated you poorly. But
you don't have to go on and spread these bigoted viewpoints on YouTube and Facebook like you do. It's just a bunch of misinformation. You have no idea. You have blood on your hands.
Okay, Mav. Do you want to have a conversation, or you just want to?
No, I really just would like you to just apologize and turn around and see that what you're doing is harmful.
Mav, there's only harm if God exists. Harm is only evil if God exists. And so you're stealing.
Harm regardless if God exists or not.
Thank you, Mav. You're not interested. Thank you for coming. I appreciate people coming here who have a different point of view, but it's got to be a dialogue. It can't be a monologue. And I think that yes, people who identify as LGBTQ have been treated poorly. But I also think now that Christians are being treated poorly. And both of them are wrong. We ought to respect people even if we disagree with them. But that's a moral category. And respect only makes sense as a moral category if there's a moral standard beyond us.
Man. This guy, Mav, has an axe to grind. This is a cautionary tale for any apologist. When you're dealing with high-strung people, they're constantly over-talking you, not letting you get a word in edgewise, accusing you, insulting you, dare I say. Know that they don't want an honest conversation. This guy, Mav, is a microcosm of how the LGBT community act at large. They're inconsistent hypocrites. But then he said Frank had blood on his hands for essentially spreading the truth. This is just nothing but a manipulative scare tactic to stop Christians from sharing the truth. The Bible actually says the opposite. It says that if we do not share the truth, if we know someone is in danger, sin, and we withhold the truth, then blood is on our hands. Our responsibility is to share the truth regardless of how people may think or perceive it. We must share the truth in love. Mav's behavior is not an indictment on Christianity or Frank Turek. It's an indictment on his conscience. He's dealing with inner turmoil. Nonetheless, I thought Frank Turk did a great job showing patience and even extending grace at the end of it all. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more content like this, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and like this video so you won't miss another upload. I'll be back next week with another one. This is Pastor Frederick. This is By the Book. Peace.